We're going to talk about forgiveness today. Before you decide to stay mad at somebody, I want you to take an inventory of your own sins. I wonder how often it is that you need forgiveness from people that have hurt you, have offended you. How many times have you done the same thing over and over to somebody else? Anybody willing to confess? I know it's not easy, but we need to look at God's character. God's character is what we're supposed to emulate in our lives. His character is beautiful. It's perfect. In Exodus 34:6, yes, it says, "And the Lord passed by before him and proclaimed, the Lord, a God merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and abundant in loving kindness and truth." In loving kindness and truth. I mean, wow, what if the world did this and was like that? We have so many problems in our world today. I mean, don't turn on the news. There's a lot of issues in our world. And there's so much violence and turmoil and hatred and anger and outrage. And if we just followed this guideline that God has given us, if we were to follow this guideline, put down our stones, if you will, and just turn to him. Just look to him. Those things that we've been carrying around, the resentment, the bitterness, the unforgiveness, the offenses, and we just leave it and we just let it go. And just choose for 1 second not to take it home with us, not to take it with us wherever we go. I mean, I don't want to carry that with me. Do you want to carry that with you? I don't want to carry it around. I don't want to carry that weight that wasn't even meant for me to carry. I don't want to take that. I don't want to take that unforgiveness. And I need to really focus in on God's compassion. I need to focus in on his grace, on his graciousness. When I reflect on my life and I think about all of the things that he's forgiven me of, wow, I mean, but that's the kind of forgiveness that he offers to us that we should give to others. He's full of truth. He is faithful, and he forgives all iniquity when we turn to him, when we confess those things. It's so important. All those transgressions, he forgives them. And these are all attributes that are disappearing from our world. It is alarming, you guys, on how much of this we do not see in our world right now. And let's forget about the world for a second. I want to talk about the church. How it is our responsibility as ambassadors of Christ to emulate this, to shine bright. Remember, we are lights. And that's a responsibility to do our part, to let go, to show what it means to forgive others who have hurt us. Matthew 24:12 says this, "And the love of the great body of people," that's us, guys, "will grow cold." That means us again. The devil, he wants you to not forgive. He wants you to hold that resentment. He wants you to build those walls of hatred towards other people. Our love should trample over all of those different things. And that's the kind of love that covers a multitude of sins. The love that we see when we look to Jesus on the cross. I mean, that is radical love. For someone to lay down your life, not just someone, not just anyone, but Jesus himself. That is why we are empowered to do it. That is why it's possible for us, because he did it first. So I want to leave us with this question today. Can you extend grace and mercy to someone today? Maybe there's someone you're thinking about that you are struggling with to forgive. I want to say this. Can it be hard? Is it hard at times? Yes, absolutely. But sometimes I think we need to do the act of forgiving and then allow and let our emotions follow thereafter. They'll catch up with you. Don't you worry about whether or not you feel like forgiving someone, but really trust God at his word. Give him a chance and an opportunity to show you what he can do through you extending grace and mercy and forgiveness to someone who maybe you feel is undeserving. But isn't that just it? We were so undeserving of his grace, mercy, and forgiveness. And yet he still, while we were still in our sin, he forgave us. I think we deny God of things inside of us, that things that he can do inside of us and through us when we don't forgive others. And this is something that sometimes we have to go through on a daily. It's not just with people in the outside world or in our church or maybe our parents. It's with our spouses, with our kids. I mean, come on. Am I the only one? My kid has hurt me at times. My husband has hurt me at times. And when I harbor and stuff that pain and that hurt from those offenses, it doesn't do good at all. It doesn't do good for me at all. It eventually is, it starts to get to me. I want to read this other verse for you all. 1 John 3:17. It says, "Do not close your heart of compassion. When you see a brother or sister in need, don't close yourself off. Why should you forgive? He says to. That's why. And if he says it, then we need to believe him at his word and trust that he's going to do something. He's going to follow through with something incredible, something miraculous." I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen and on why we should forgive. And I hope that you consider these words and that it blesses you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Maybe someone popped in your head while you were listening. If so, make sure to go and share this episode with them. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe and leave a review or send me some encouragement. Seriously, y'all. If you're in the IG world, you can follow me there at Journey with Ritz and see tons of adorable pics of my family. Can't wait to connect with y'all. Talk soon.